Folks, part of my job is to bring your attention to specific stocks or sector or indices that are making market moves. And right now, there's something happening in the healthcare sector, more specifically in the oncology sector, and it appears to be making headways and making all-time highs, especially with the market selling off. One of the most important things that I look for is I look for stocks, ETFs, commodities that are bucking the trend. And over the past few weeks, if you look at the stock market, if you look at the S&P 500, you'll notice that right around the 2nd of September, it made an all-time high. And it started cooling off, and it hasn't been able to match its relative strength. It tried to rally here on the 16th, but no soup. So one of the things that I look for are assets that continue to make all-time highs when the S&P 500 peters out. And as you could see here, this asset continued to rally all the way and made an all-time high on the 18th, where the S&P made a high on the 2nd. So this tells me that something here is bucking the trend and outperforming the overall market. Even though it's on a very short-term basis, it's enough to bring my attention to start looking deeper, and I did. And actually, the way I found out this, what I'm about to share with you right now, is doing exactly what I did. I looked at my relative strength filter, and I said, hey, let me find assets, ETFs that have outperformed the S&P 500 over the past few weeks. And lo and behold, I found this asset, and this is the Lawn Care Cancer Immunotherapy ETF. And then I started doing research, and I found out, and again, this is how I back into stocks. Sometimes I'll start with fundamentals. Sometimes I'll start with technicals. But one way or the other, I'll back myself into something, and then I'll start my research from that angle. And in this case, I'm going to share a potentially good trade with you, but I'm also going to share with you how I pick these trades. And that's really what I'm talking about right now. So what got my attention is the fact that this asset, after a long congestion and consolidation, made an all-time high as the stock market's been moving lower. As a matter of fact, the day that this asset made an all-time high, the stock market was really weak. Yesterday, the market went as low as 900 points, but we made an all-time high. So I started checking back, and I started realizing that there's a lot of things going on right now with the oncology sector. For example, yesterday, Monday, the Amgen, one of the biggest biotechs, presented phase 1 of their prostate cancer as part of their European Society of Medical Oncology virtual Congress meetings. Then today, Merck is going to, their oncology division again, has outperformed competitors over the last few years, is hosting its oncology virtual IR briefing as part of the same type of a group. Moreover, there are deals happening in the oncology sector. For example, last week, Gilead Sciences agreed to acquire Immunomedics, ticker symbol IMMU, in a transaction valued at $21 billion, giving Gilead certain drugs to treat breast cancer, immunology. Again, on Friday, Piper Sandler issued a list of biotechs that could be in sight for acquirers for their oncology treatment. Again, you see, there's a pattern here. And these companies' assets are largely de-risked, and I have a whole list of them. So again, that's one of the reasons this asset, this ETF, is moving up. And this is the Lawn Care Cancer Immunotherapy ETF. It's jumped about 11% last week, while the stock market declined over 1%. And the healthcare, the overall health sector, as you could see here, I'll put it up here for you, has not been doing all that great. As a matter of fact, it rose 0.9%, but nowhere near, let me show you the highs. See that? It made an all-time high, again, on the 3rd, or 2nd, 3rd. And what happened yesterday, day before? It sagged. It's been sagging, while the immunotherapy ETF has been rallying. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you see something rallying hard and it's not a really defensive sector, and immunotherapy is not, oncology is not that defensive, the odds are it'll rally that much more if the market really, really takes off. So the stock is up now over 18% from its recent lows. And I believe the stock has more upside to go. Remember what I always teach you guys, not a stock, ETF. The longer something congests, the better the odds that once it breaks out, that the breakout will be real. Now, what I would do is I would put a buy stop above the 29.21 level. I would actually go all the way to the 29.50 level. And if it takes out that buy stop, I would put a sell stop right at the 50-day moving average. So buy at around 29.5, put a sell stop at right around the 26.50, 26.60 level. But the fact that there's a lot of takeovers, mergers, news in the oncology sector tells me that this sector is going to rise. And the best way to take advantage of it is with an ETF. Let's take a look at the constituents. It's got 31 holdings, so you're not spreading your risk too much. And if we look at it, you've got Macrogenetics, Compugen. These are not all of these are big companies. Merck, it only has 0.3% of Merck, and I like the fact that it's really diversified. It's got AstraZeneca in here, it's got Bristol Myers, it's got some smaller companies, some bigger companies, but I like the fact that this sector right now is completely shrugging off the sell-off that we're seeing in the stock market. And I like the fact that this ETF is responding really, really well to the fact that we're seeing takeovers, mergers, and a spotlight on this cancer treatment space. It's a very important space. It's not really dependent on the elections, whether Democrats or Republicans win. Cancer treatment is not going anywhere. We probably will see a little more allocation of Democrats take the White House, but honestly, when it comes to this type of research, it's not really dependent on COVID-19. It's kind of doing its own thing. And honestly, that's where you want to be in right now. You want to be in sectors that are bucking the trend, that are outperforming in terms of relative strength, that are making new highs, that are breaking out after congesting for a long time, and where the fundamentals are solid. The fact that Piper Sandler is talking about a list of biotechs that are that largely de-risked, that have a high target value, is very, very positive. The fact that Gilead Science acquired a company right now during this type of a market environment for $21 billion is very solid. And usually when you have this type of spotlight on a sector or a stock or an ETF, price tends to go higher. And again, it's been congesting now since, let's see here, since May. It's been congesting since May. So I'm looking for higher highs. And if it breaks the high, which is near the 29.11 level, that's why I like the 29.50 level for a buy. And if it breaks the 50-day moving average, I would just liquidate it. If you're looking for a position trade, give it a little more room. Give it enough room to go to the 200-day moving average, which is near the $24 level. But if you're looking for a swing trade, don't give yourself more than the 50-day moving average. And I hope that helps. Folks, hundreds of traders and investors just learned a secret that could win them up to 97% of their trades. Can you imagine 97% of their trades winners? That's crazy. Their teacher, he's been crowned the best trader in the world 10 times over and even made over $1 million of the last flash crash. Oh yeah, it's like that. Turning his small $4,600 account into $460,000 in just 2 years. Now, he's passing his knowledge down to the next generation of traders. In fact, his trophy trade system could give you the potential to win 97 out of every 100 trades. That's amazing. Just as it has done so for the past 20 years in a row. Click on the link below to learn how you can get in on the next trophy trades. Don't delay, do it now. This is life-changing.